Hey everybody, Underscore here with Random Respawn. As you can see, I have a brand new Ancient Battle Axe Plus and 895 arrows. Let's throw 60 seconds up on the clock and take down this Lynel. Okay, we took down that Silver Lynel in under 60 seconds. And as you can see now, we have 887 arrows down from 895, meaning we only used 8, and the coup de grace is our Ancient Battle Axe is still brand spanking new. So what did we just do? We killed a Silver Lynel in under 60 seconds, took no damage, didn't have to dodge or parry anything, and our weapon is still at 100% durability, and we used less than 10 regular arrows in total. Let's break this down a little bit and see how this method works. So, when you upgrade the Stasis rune to the Stasis Plus rune, it allows you to freeze an enemy or put an enemy in stasis. This works specifically on Lynels for 1.5 seconds. Point number 2, Lynels can be stunned with critical arrow shots, and by stunned I mean they bow their head and stop attacking. Point number 3, multi-shot bows only consume 1 arrow per shot, so even though a bow may shoot 3 arrows, it will only consume 1 arrow from your inventory. Item number 4, Lynels can be mounted after a stun, so when they are stunned they bow their head, and after a stun, you can approach them, it will give you a prompt to mount them, and that means you will climb up on their back and can do damage to them. Item number 5, once you have mounted a Lynel, you are guaranteed to get 5 hits off before you are thrown from their back. Item number 6, hits while mounted don't affect weapon durability, so that means a brand new weapon, and in this video an Ancient Battle Axe Plus, will remain brand new, not have any durability loss after only hitting the Lynel while mounted. Item number 7, Lynel's attacks can be interrupted by stasis and critical arrow shots. So that means if he's running at you or performing any sort of attack, you can stop him in his tracks using the combo of stasis and critical arrow shots while still in stasis. Item number 8, the Ancient Proficiency buff associated with the Ancient Armor level 2 or higher provides an 80% buff to all Guardian weapon usage. On top of that, the High Level Attack Boosting buff, or the Level 3 Attack Boosting Recipe buff, provides a 50% attack boost. Those combined provide arguably the highest attack boost in the game, and that is because both of those buffs are multiplicative rather than additive. And finally, item number 9, a 60 damage Guardian Battle Axe Plus does 270 damage per swing. That is found by multiplying the 60 damage by the 2 buffs, 1.8 and 1.5, equaling 270 damage per swing. Now that we know all the tips and tricks used in this method, let's do a step-by-step breakdown so you can repeat this process yourself. The first thing you're going to want to do is put this fight on your terms. So you're going to find your Lynel, whether it be silver or otherwise, and then you're going to close the gap. So normally the Lynel will see you coming and you will get hit with some shock arrows, or you won't get the first swing in. What we're going to do here is we're going to save and then load that exact save immediately. What that does is it resets the spawn of the Lynel, and he isn't aware you're there. So now that we've put the fight on our own terms, let's check out what we brought to the fight. So first, our weapon. What we're going to use is the Ancient Battle Axe ++. Now this does 60 damage, and this 60 damage weapon is the guaranteed drop from any of the major test of strength shrines in the game. The guardians in those shrines respawn every blood moon, so you should always have access to this. This makes this method great because you don't have to have that one special weapon. You can carry 10 of these and find 10 of them each blood moon. It might be 7, who knows. But we have a guide, I'll link it in the description, for all of the test of strength shrines, where they are, what they drop, and how you can get them. So check that out if you need this weapon. We're using the Ancient Battle Axe ++ because we want to take advantage of the Ancient Proficiency buff that allows us to do 80% more damage when using Guardian weapons. So this axe is a great example of a high damaging Guardian weapon, and then we're going to combine it with that buff plus the attack up buff of a normal cooked dish to maximize our melee damage output. This is what really allows us to take out a Lynel in less than a minute. The next piece of equipment we brought to this fight is our bow, and what we're using here is a multi-shot bow. So in our instance, we're using a Savage Lynel bow, which you're going to get plenty of farming these Lynels, but it can be any multi-shot bow. So it could be a duplex bow or a Forest Dweller's bow, anything that shoots more than one arrow. Now, we want something that shoots more than one arrow for two reasons. One, a multi-shot bow only consumes one arrow while firing multi-shots. So basically we can double or triple our damage without the same expenses. The main reason though is we're trying to hit the critical spot on these Lynels to stun them and mount them. The critical spot on Lynels is very, very small compared to most other enemies. So if you're firing 2 or 3 shots in the general vicinity of the critical area, it's a much easier or higher chance of you hitting and actually critting the Lynel. A lot of people have trouble under pressure or, you know, whatever it may be in these fights, hitting the critical shot and stunning the Lynel. So what we're doing twofold is we're going to use stasis to make it a stationary target, and then we're going to use a multi-shot bow to increase our damage output or the area of effect that we're shooting at. So essentially guaranteeing you a critical shot on the Lynel. The next thing you're going to want to bring to this fight is the right armor, and the armor that we're going to be using is the Ancient Armor. If you get each piece of this armor